Hello, this is Teresa Phelps Martin hanging out in the Soulfully You Facebook group. Maybe you're watching this live or on the replay, but it is a great day for soul flow yoga, right? And what we have today is a really sweet and tidal wave-like energy that is bringing up different components so that we can finally release them so new beginnings can happen. All right, that was kind of like a big concept to drop in within seconds of starting this live recording. However, in this energy, I don't know, I feel like there's something odd. Hi, Jennifer. Or Jennifer. Hi, Julie. Hey guys, so, and I am gonna interrupt myself since I just dropped the big wisdom bomb in the very beginning. I have no idea. Like the other day, some of you were watching the class live and I had no idea. It said that nobody was watching. So, hi Hope, you're here. Thank you for commenting. So I really have no idea because what Facebook tells me isn't the truth. Take that one and run with it. So unless you comment or engage, I just don't know. And you do not have to comment or engage. Just letting you know if you want an extra energetic transmission through the practice, let me know you're watching. It doesn't even matter if you're watching the replay. The transmission will come through more powerfully if you are vulnerable with me. Because that's really what today is all about. It's about being vulnerable. Hi, Julie. I'm happy you're here as well. So we have this energy of kind of stubborn and about adaptability as things are dissolving. So that stubbornness in our security and our sense of pleasure and our senses and our structures and the energy we create. But it's also about detachment or non-attachment, I should say, because detachment usually means that we don't give two flying flips, but rather that not being attached so much of the outcome. So believing our way through is really essential, and it's obviously believing in your essence and believing in your purpose and believing in your vitality and believing that you have a choice to engage authentically in this world, to cultivate boundaries. There's also this adaptability, like the emotional adaptability, the trueness of our essence, the beliefs, the emotional quality, and the level of compassion. So if we have boundaries with compassion, and our boundaries come from our core values, and our core values are based on our beliefs, then we can believe our way through. And we can believe our way through the dissolve. We can believe our way through the energy that feels somewhat disruptive. And when we choose from a place of beliefs, we're believing in ourselves. And when we believe in ourselves and we believe, as my friend Sloan posted on her page, we believe in our birthright to be that divine spark. I just totally paraphrased what she said. But then we can trust that we're moving through, right? And we're moving through those new beginnings. Hi, Pat. And it's really, it's pushing us because there's so much transformation. So it's pushing us into that place of non-attachment. Now, the thing is, everything's about to shift. a lot of things are shifting. And in that shift, like for me personally, I'm ready to really come forward in a bigger offering. But the cosmos personally for me are reminding me to pull back, to honor the relationships that I'm invested in. And then it can be about me later. Just saying. But it's really about you all and this idea of helping you live with soul, to lead from that soul, to lead from your inner spark. So we're going to do it. This idea of earth and water is something that most of you all love, because we get into the psoas, we get into the hips, we get to be grounded. But I want to go an extra layer because I haven't had a chance to do the energetic signature. I'm hoping to do it shortly. The season we're in right now is really about consciously choosing, as we are feeling a restructuring individually and collectively, that we want to be very conscious of seeing both sides, right? So your beliefs and believing your way through could be very different from somebody else's beliefs. So it's not so much attacking the other beliefs, but choosing clear, strong boundaries out of not protection, but of insulation, right? To really insulate and contain and feed and nourish your own spark and your own light. So here we go. We are going to start in child's pose. We're going to do some psoas, hip grounding, connecting to the earth, so then we can rise. And I don't know yet. I might move us in a very sort of dreamy expression. This is going to be like original yoga teacher Teresa sort of practice. So those of you who've known me for a long time might be like, whoa, you might be revisiting an experience that you remember from a long time ago. And so it's slightly, I don't know why I keep closing my eyes. It's slightly, my own thing. But in this kind of energy of choice, so many of us, especially Geminis or anybody who has a lot of planets in Gemini right now, or if you have energy in Sag, especially around 11 degrees. I know, look, I'm turning into a astrologer. It's just because we're entering a portal. And that portal is, the encouragement is to really look at stories that are continuing to surface from our past, especially our childhood, especially our youth. But moving this way that I moved almost 20 years ago is a chance to reframe, to come back to the believability, the beliefs that carried you through the moments that were incredibly disruptive or challenging. But now it's time to reframe that story so that we can have a new beginning, a fresh start. So let's go. I'm gonna start in child's pose. We're gonna clear up a lot of energy in the back and in the heart. And we're gonna connect a lot from this inner line. So if you think about the upper palate, maybe that's why I keep closing my eyes, is to really go inward. The upper palate, and you have these channels of energy. When I studied with Shiva Ray, she would call them the rivers of the body. And a lot of that is because of Ayurveda. And when you wake up, these nadi channels, these channels that carry the energy of life and vitality of the source of all creation through us, then you actually help the mind soften. And we're getting ready to move into a very intellectual season of a lot of thoughts and communications being challenged in a good way. In a good way. You got to remember, like, the universe is unfolding just as it needs to. We got to remember that we're all on this planet together, that we're all in Earth school together. Okay? So let's do it. Child's pose. Here we go. Breathe into your belly. And as you breathe into your belly, let your arms go where they need to go. Maybe your knees are together, maybe your knees are wide, and rest. What story of your own structure, of your own values, of your own belief system are you willing to let go of the attachment of how that is supposed to direct your life and keep you safe? And letting go of the attachment that that's the only way to be, so that you can become more curious about these new beginnings and these new expressions, because you're more deeply connected to the truth of who you are, and you can feel safety and security in that unfolding. 3 deep breaths, just honoring all that's there for you, calling in your highest, and feeling the connection in your truth. Inhale, stretch your arms out. You're going to come up onto the palms of your hands. Lift the elbows, lift the armpits. Feel the connection all the way down this sideline, all the way to your inner thighs, and all the way down to the soles of your feet. Draw into the belly, arm bones are lifted, shoulders are drawing in. Let the head move. Feel the connection here. You got to anchor your tail, anchor your pubic bone. And just feel the connection from the palms of the hands all the way through the soles of the feet. We're making a little bit of a zigzag in our own body. And then you're going to walk your hands over to the left. So push through the arms. You want to feel the physicality, right? I talked about the rivers of the body, but we need the banks, right? We need the container of that energy. Arm bones left, shoulders draw in. And you're going to feel a lift through your core as your hips stretch over towards the right. 3 breaths here. Inhale, come up through the center and all the way over to the other side. Arms are pushing down, belly's lifting, and then your hips lift up and anchor over towards the left foot. The left insole, feeling that connection through that whole left sideline. And then inhale, come all the way back through the center. Ground the hands. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees. Widen the right foot. Stretch the left foot out long. You're going to draw into the belly. Maybe even bend the knees. So again, you feel the connection from the sole of the foot up through the inner thigh, up through the sideline. And you're going to find your fingertips on the earth, drawing into the belly. And then instead of taking this arm up and around, you're going to stretch the arm by your ear, and then you have to pause, regroup, recontain, believe in that ability to come into a greater alignment with your soul's promise, because your soul is hungry to grow. It doesn't want to just keep everything the same. The ego wants to keep everything the same, so we let go of the attachment to that and believe in our soul's promise. Believe in our soul's journey. Inhale the left leg up, bend the knee, hold on to the foot, shoulders drawn to the back, kick the foot back, hand pushes into the foot pushes into the hand, stay connected through the core line, and feel that line from the sole of the foot, up through the knee, through the inner thigh, all the way through the side of the throat. And then exhale, stretch the left foot out. Bring the left hand down, bring the right foot back to the center, and then you're going to move the left leg across the midline. And just feel, again, another connection to that left side line. You can even let the ribs reach towards the right slightly. Now, this might be too much, so just realize that. You're going to bring your left knee behind the right. Okay, so you have like eagle legs. You're moving into cow face pose and sitting all the way back. Yes, your hips are going to say, what? Just trust me. Hips are grounded, drawn to the belly. Did you hear that little intonation? Just trust me. It's like so much of my energy. You're going to draw to the belly, shoulders drawn to the back, lift up and reach over to the right. Outer left hip is anchored, core is strong, and feel the lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then exhale, circle the arm down, left arm anchors, right arm. Now the right hip's going to try to come up. Right arm lifts, draw into the core, find length. And now we're finally breathing into this right side, okay? It's been there the whole time, but it has wisdom for us. So we want to receive that insight of what can we let go of the attachment to and welcome in with the boundary of what we believe in. Maybe your boundary is just your intention for being here. And then exhale, hand comes down, hips are grounded, draw to the belly. Now, this takes a little bit of effort, and be mindful of the knees. You're going to come here, right knee comes forward, left leg goes back. So we're here in pigeon pose. You can just lean forward, get the hips level, connect from that left foot up through the left inner thigh, right? Mine was anchored back. Up through the left inner thigh, through the left waist, up through the left side of the throat, bend the knee, right hand's going to go back. Shoulders drawn to the back, and keep the connection through that left line of the body. So we're not trying to draw the foot in. Foot's in line with the knee. Lift through the belly and feel a lift through that whole left side. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then exhale, free the foot. Draw into the belly, inch the knee in. Find both knees underneath you, and then you can inhale the arm up, but thread the left arm through. You're on the back part of your skull. There's a channel for the energy to move through your neck. Stay lifted in the core. Hug the outer hips towards your tail. And breathe into that whole left side line. And then exhale out completely. Ground into the earth. Come up onto your hands and knees. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round. And then inhale, come into a nice neutral spine. Right leg goes back. Left foot widens. You can bend the knee, get grounded, get the clear connection. Sole of the foot up through the inner thigh. Left hand is grounded. Feel the connection through the sideline. Come to your right fingertips. Okay, that's going to wake up this back line of the body. Come to your right fingertips. Draw to the belly. Shoulders drawn to the back. You come here. If you get stuck, you bend. You realign. You feel that unraveling through your whole being. Coming into side table. Gracious breath in. Gracious breath out. You gotta lean the chest forward, right leg lifts, bend the knee, reach the hand for the foot. And then you wanna feel the connection to the belly. We don't wanna lose it here, okay? So if we're in the psoas, we're in this connection, ribs to hip point. Pull that energy in and then open up. Can you believe that your soul's promise is wrapped up in every cell of you? And each of those cells are able to renew themselves and grow and evolve, because none of us are the same physiological makeup that we were when we came out of the womb. But our essence is still there. And so we want to believe in that vitality and our resilience and our brilliance. One more breath. You're going to free the foot, stretches out, hand comes to the ground, bring the foot in, and then right leg moves across the midline. Stay connected to that energy within and look over the left shoulder. Okay, now you're going to bring your left knee to the center. Right leg comes behind it. Sit all the way back. Listening. I think my hip has cleared, but I don't want to overdo it. So that's it, right? It's a new beginning. It's a releasing of that tension, that grip, that limitation. The only way that limitation will really ease up and shift is when we pay attention to the lesson, right? Right hip stays anchored, left arm stretches up and over, right arm lifts up and over. Again, feel, what's the ribcage doing? How can you draw in, ground down, and then reach over? Big full breath in and a full breath out. Ground into the earth. Inhale, come all the way up. We're going over to the other side. Right hand grounds, hips are anchored. Left arm lifts and reach over. And then exhale all the way out. We're going to move into pigeon pose. Rise up. Left knee goes forward, right leg goes back. Okay? So we're not dropped. We want to feel the boundary. We want to value our sacrum. You're going to lean forward, make the connection from that foot, up through the inner thigh, up through the waistline, and then reach back. Your hand for your foot, shoulders to your back. Feel the length, feel the opening. All the way up through that right side of the throat, all the way up through the space behind your right eyeball, through the crown of the head. And then exhale, free the foot, hand to the earth, inch the knee in, come into that table pose. You know, if you want to do that move, go for it. Slide the right arm through. Head to the ground, strong through the core. Again, keeping the connection to this part of the neck and the throat. Exhale out completely. Inhale up onto your hands and knees, round the back, chin to your chest. Inhale, open the heart, and exhale all the way down to the belly. Bend both knees, flex your feet, push the knees to the earth, so your inner thighs lift, draw into the core, Ground through the hands. And you're going to anchor your tail towards your heels, which means your hips will come back down. Inhale, curl the heart up, shoulders to the back, and then feel that lift, that connection. Stretch the feet all the way out. They'll probably be wider, which is fine. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, bow down, bend the knees. Push them to the earth, realign, pull those thighs in, and then stretch the tail back. Shoulders, now feel that energy rippling up through the sides of the body, up through the sides of the throat, and then stretch the legs out. Feel the full expansion, deep breath in. Exhale, heart melts, knees bend, realign, knees push down, thighs plug in, then anchor the tail, shoulders are to the back, curling out, and then stretching it all the way out. Full breath in. Exhale, bow all the way to the earth. Knees bend, hands ground down. Push up and back. Tuck your toes. Feel the connection from the hands, up the arms, through the sides of the body, inner thighs, all the way to the soles of the feet. Move all the way back, downward dog. You're going to slowly walk your feet forward, finding both feet beneath you, and bow. Inhale, find length through the spine, and exhale, bow down. Inhale, find length through the spine, keep the length. You're going to bend both knees, okay? And now you're going to keep the length, but as you inhale, you're going to draw from the right foot up through the right inner thigh, up through the waistline, all the way through the crown of the head, and then exhale, bend. We're just going to alternate. Bend the knees from the left foot up through the left leg, left waistline, through the crown of the head. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, feeling yourself expanding, going to each side. Connect with this inner line. And you go all the way through the fingertips as well, but it also goes through the crown of the head. Go to each side one more time. Moving slowly, moving soulfully, moving mindfully. Bend both knees, elbows to your thighs. Feel, or the hands can come to the outside of the shins. Hug into that midline. Sweep the inseams of the legs back and anchor the outer hips. Draw into the belly. Hands push into the heart center. Shoulders draw into the back. Glide the left foot back. Okay, so we're still leaning forward. Draw into that connection. Where have we been thus far? How can you tell the story differently? The chest doesn't move. Glide the left foot forward. Reconnect, hug to that midline, internally rotate the legs. Now make sure you're bringing that energy all the way up the back line of the body. Shoulders are into the back. Draw into the center, glide the right foot back. Stay connected from that right foot through the right line of the body. Step the right foot forward. Feel the breath. Left foot goes back. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale the left foot forward. Exhale, connect through the lines of the body, up and all the way back down. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, so you're gliding in that energy. Sit deeper, realign through the core, shoulders to the back. Inhale, rise up. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lift up and reach over to the right. Inhale up through the center line. Over to the left. Inhale, come all the way through. Hinge at the hips, fold over. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow down. You're going to heel toe the feet apart. Turn the feet out. you need to. Palms come together, draw into the core, funneling through the spine. Feel connected to those inner lines of the body, the rivers of energy, the belief that the water still flows, that there's a container to come alive. The prana shakti, the energy that is yours, that creates you and your being and your existence, that supports all of us and each of us. As you exhale, come all the way seated. Hips to the earth, feet go over to the left. You're going to inhale, find length, and twist. Okay, watch how much you're twisting from the attachment to the low back. So keep the pubic bone and the sit bone heavy and the tailbone heavy. Draw the belly in, find that length through the sides of the body without this popping forward. So you have to really anchor this in. And as you anchor it in, both shoulders drawn to the back, bring this left hand to your heart. Feel that lift from inside. Tail stays heavy, shoulders to the back. So you feel that whole energy rising up, rising through, and hopefully it's easy to believe in yourself right here, right now. 3 breaths, breathing into the back of the heart. And then inhale, come all the way through the center. Feet are going to switch over to the other side. Feet move over to the right. Again, we don't want this hip anchored down and then try to twist. And we don't want it pulling so far forward and try to twist. You want to find the space in between. Both the tail and the pubic bone and the sit bones are heavy. The waistline is full. We feel this connection through the legs, up through the sides of our being, rising up, and then we're moving from within. We're using that strength, that connection here. We're moving from our inner essence, believing in even the healing and the renewal of our core. The left hand goes behind you, right hand comes to the heart, so you can feel that energy sweeping up and drawing in. Investing in your inner spark, investing in your soul's promise, believing in your potentiality, believing in your vitality, believing in our sense of resilience, and contributing to that. And then inhale, come all the way back through the center. Both feet come forward. Once both feet come forward, hands to your shins, you're going to exhale, round the back, and then inhale, rise up. Exhale, round the back. Now stay here this time. Draw your knees in and hook your arms around your shins until your feet come off the floor. You're going to pull the belly in and then feel that length from the soles of the feet up through the inseams of the legs. You're going to lean more towards your pubic bone. Kick your heels in towards your tail and find the volume up through the back of the spine and up through the sides of the throat. Just feeling the solidity and the inner expansion. Now we want to believe in that vitality. We want to believe in our brilliance. We want to honor the resilience. But we have to let go of the attachment of what that looks like. Does that make sense at all? Then feet come to the earth. Knees are going to open up wide. Hands are gonna hold onto your ankles. This is as far down as my knees go. I'm actually gonna come here. I'm holding onto my knees under, I'm not pushing down, holding it on. You can, some of you just come into this with so much ease, okay? If you're holding onto your knees like me, it's all good. It just means we internally rotate better than externally rotate. You're gonna hold onto your legs, draw into your core, shoulders to your back, and find that length. I want you to feel a buoyancy between your low back and your rib cage, right? So there's a density, but it's what's allowing you to sustain the energy of you. Holy smokes, talk about a download of insight. Okay, noted. Big breath in. Big breath out. Exhale out completely. Inhale, come all the way up. You're going to slowly lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring your knees into your chest. Right foot's going to go up. Left foot comes to the ground. I want you to plug the thigh down. Get the low back in. Rib cage in. Back of the heart's on the earth. Shoulders are on the earth. Okay? You're going to feel the arms stretch out from your shoulders like a T. And I want you just to hold this form for 8 breaths. Okay, there's a lot of physical engagement, and I want you to connect from your right foot through the inseam of the leg, up through the sideline, through the right crown and the right arm. And I want you to listen not so much to what it looks like on the outside, but how you're connecting this channel of energy within, so you can believe in your own essence, your soul's to listen to the wisdom your soul is communicating to you. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the knee. Knee comes towards your armpit. Find the pinky toe side of the foot. So have you guys noticed, we've done outer hips, hamstrings, low back. We haven't done a lot to stretch the inner thighs, but we've done a lot to cultivate the connection. I want you to draw the line from the sole of the foot through your leg, all the way into your pelvis, okay? So usually what happens is this hip pulls up and then our sacrum is torqued. So come back in, draw in, knee towards the armpit. So it's a half happy baby. Your left leg can open, you can draw in, find length through that right sideline, and then perhaps extend the foot out. Now this is our first stretch of the inner thigh. You're gonna feel restricted. That's the idea. Okay, so use the lesson of the container to help you expand into this whole left side line of the body. Okay, so the right side is contractive, the left side is expansive. So now we need to contract the left side more to find more expansion through the right. I know that's a lot to process. And then after you find that, a few breaths here, you might find you can extend your leg more fully. We're not pushing anything. We're not attached to the outcome. We're believing our way through. We're believing in our ability to connect to our soul's purpose. We're believing in the potentiality, and we're rebuilding. We're reframing. We're restructuring. We're restoring. And then as you exhale, bend the knee. Ankle's gonna come to your thigh. Left leg lifts up and just rock from side to side. Just little movements to clear the hip joint out. And then come back to the earth. Both feet come to the ground. Readjust the arms, the head, the neck, and the jaw. Feel, is the tail pulling up? Is it too heavy to the ground? Finding that neutral spine. Equal engagement on both sides. Left leg's going to lift. You're going to flex the foot. Thigh pulls down, plugs in. You're probably finding the left side shortening, right side lengthening. We want to even that out. Thigh bones pulling down. If you've ever been in class with me where I've pushed your femur bone into your hip socket and it's delightful, we get into the junk of the trunk, I want you to create that here, that you know you have junk. All of us have junk in our trunk. All of us come with baggage. All of us come with a mortal wound that will be with us our whole life, that we're here to heal. That's part of our soul's promise. You're going to plug the thigh in, draw in, feeling the connection between the hip points and the rib cage, adjusting what needs to be adjusted, and then breathing there. This is not easy. It looks so easy, right? I'm starting to shake because what we're doing is we're restructuring and realigning from our birthright, from our potential, from our soul's promise. Eight breaths, if you didn't know. I'm not very good at repeating myself, so just remember the 8 breaths. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the knee, right? Have happy baby. Still feeling the connection. So if you're feeling a block of energy in that hip crease of the left leg, then you're stopping the flow, right? You're creating the obstacle from the attachment of what it's supposed to be. So instead, I want you to feel in your being, draw into the belly, feel the connection. This side, this is as far as I'm going for happy baby pose right here. I had to put my hand in my hip crease to help keep the space. Realign the shoulders, clear through the neck, right? You want to feel a flow of energy all the way through. And if it's going to get stuck, it's going to get blocked somewhere for so many different reasons. But we can just default to the fact that we're humans with mortal wounds or some scars, imprints. And then you're going to stretch the foot out to the side. This is as far, I didn't even move, but what came alive on inside is like making my eyes water up. So it's in the intentionality and the connection to staying in a healthy agreement, right? And breathe. No forcing. No mandating. It's so crazy. I can feel this all the way into the sole of my foot. As you exhale, and maybe you're like, what? I'm good. As you exhale out completely, free that left leg onto the right thigh. Reconnect here, these points. Hip points, rib cage. Draw the foot up. And then you can move from side to side, or you can be steady. I recommend moving. And then come back through the center, foot to the earth. Both feet come to the ground. Now, this is we're in the dissolve, the balsamicness, where things come together and they thicken up like syrup so the flavor can really come through. I love a good, thick balsamic vinegar. So it's age, it's from the wisdom. So wow, there's not a lot of momentum in this class. How can there be momentum when you have energy of earth that's fixed and water that's adaptable, right? It's about going inward. When we have air and fire, then it's much bigger. There's a greater volume. There's a much more outward. This is feeling the big kahuna internally, and nobody would know it externally. Here we are. We're going to go to bridge pose, but we're going to do bridge pose with articulations of the spine. So feet are grounded. I'm not a fan of touching the heels, because if you look, if I bring my feet in, and I can touch my heels. Do you see how tipped forward my knees are? You can also tell they have to tip forward because, believe it or not, my tibia is longer than my femur. So you have to get to know yourself and all your anomalies, all the things that make you who you are. As you're on the ground, even out the pelvis. Feel the hip points. Shoulders are going to draw into the back, arms by your side. Inhale the hips up. Feel connection to the core, and then we're going to roll the spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae. So we can just clear out that space between the ribs and the hip points. Tail anchors, draw the energy in, inhale, coming back up, throat's open. So pause here, from the feet up through the inner thighs. Feel how there's a torque. Draw through the sides of the body, all the way through the throat, even out through your arms, and then tail lifts, using the belly, vertebrae by vertebrae, down to the ground. Tail anchors. We're doing this 8 times, you guys. Realign, reconnect. Inhale, lifting from the outer hips. Inner thighs are heavy. Drawing into the belly, hugging to the midline. Now the tail curls up, but the pubic bone's still drawing in towards the tailbone. Vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the ground. That's 3. We have 5 more. Isn't that interesting? 3 plus 5 is 8. It's the key to resilience. Draw into the belly, realign, inhale, lift. And from that lift, vertebrae by vertebrae. All the way to the earth. Tail anchors, energy strong. Inhale, rising up. So we're getting the foundation of things. Drawing into that connection and vertebrae by vertebrae. We're just clearing out, right, the muddy waters of our own self. So where the lotus blooms. Inhale, lifting. 3 more times. So on some level, we're recreating from the transformation to dissolve, but also sustain. Slow, intentional movement that has isometrics and understanding the biomechanics of the body, layered in with the belief in our own vitality, our own spirit, while connected to the inner layers of our truth, yet believing our way through, but not being attached to how it all comes forward, is what Soulfully You is all about. Okay, I think we have 1 more. I lost count, but 9 is a good number to bring forward peace. Rise up, last time, vertebrae by vertebrae. You're using your core in such a fierce way. Like each vertebrae, we're tapping into the psoas and making the connection to our legs. And the tail grounds. The arms stretch out. Knees can roll to the... This was so old school, but new school Teresa. Knees go to the right. Inhale through the center. Knees go over to the left. Inhale, come back through the center. Legs stretch out long. We're going to go to that 5-pointed star. I don't know if you can see the starfish that's on one of my altars, but it's that connection to the embodiment we have here. So feet are grounded, arms stretched open. We are all, just like we're all childs of the universe. We are all star seeds. We are all made of the same ingredients. So expand, connect inward, and expand outward. Feel the physicality of your truth, but awaken to your soul's promise so you can adapt with compassion. Big breath in. And then exhale, releasing. So nothing crazy and intense. No big blasts of external or upward moving energy, but rather a very clear downward connection that moves us into that sacred depth. So we can resurface with the treasures of our heart, the resilience of our soul's promise. Feeling your breath. Now I want you to draw lines from the soles of the feet, up through the inseams, up through the sides, all the way up through the crown, going just above the crown of the head, and then exhaling straight down these rivers. Now, if you've had the pleasure of having a full-on Ayurvedic massage in India, you're going to connect to this energy very quickly. And if you haven't, it's out there. And so let's feel this breath, since I'm bringing up Somotharam and a time of my own pilgrimage to India, as we're breathing for ourselves here, clearing through the layers of our essence, we can breathe for the hope and the vitality and the brilliance, the brilliance and the resilience of all beings everywhere to restore and return that vitality to India that's just being plummeted right now. And such an unfortunate way of this pandemic. And so we want to feel the breath rolling through the rivers of our being, honoring the heritage of this practice and the tradition, and offering selflessly back that energy for greater healing and transmission. So 8 more breaths, just breathing through the rivers of your being. I'm going to be quiet so I can be intentional. And trusting and believing our way through that our time right here on the other side of the world is benefiting for the highest good of all those concerned. Slowly let your awareness come back to your heart center, breathing all the way in, all the way out, just as you are. Feeling into your relationship with this material world. And leaning back more deeply into your soul's adaptability, your resilience. And then reawakening with a renewed sense of connection, wiggling your toes and your fingers. But as you move with the energy that's expansive, that's benevolent. Just as you are, you hold so much. And we all serve that light in different ways. Bend both knees and just bring your feet wider than your hips, knees together, and pause. Feeling the connection of your feet to the earth and the space that you're in, your head on the floor. And see yourself coming up seated, feeling good, feeling vibrant, feeling aligned. Before you even go. And then believe in your own ability to roll over to one side with ease and compassion. Stay there if you like, and then slowly coming up seated. And that seat that honors you. And from that seat, returning to your center, returning to this connection here in the core, in the heart, in the roots, in the crown. Allowing the hands to come to your own heart. We're all connected. And no matter how you are in the journey of your life, we want to believe our way through. We want to believe in the resilience, the renewal, the reconnection. We want to believe in our ability to release the attachment. We want to believe in our soul's promise, and that promise includes growth and evolution. Yet the consciousness and the collective connection is ever present, is steady. We live on Earth. Earth isn't going anywhere right now. And so we want to believe that the light is shining for each of us and all of us. And that as we give salutations, as we honor with great reverence the brilliance that illuminates each of our lives, that we can say hello to this moment that's before us. Namaste, 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 namo namaha. And so it is. Unto. I appreciate all of you, straight from my heart to each of yours. The depth of your commitment to you, however you understand your soul's energy, that you can continue to live from this, your soul's light, what it's being called towards. And believe it or not, you have a map to help you. And chances are you know, but we weren't guided as kids to listen to that inner voice, that companion that's always with us. Hopefully you are now. And so when you look at your soul's promise, what you do is you crystallize the direction you know you need to go, or you're being called towards. but there's this little, comfort in where you are. So if you want to know your soul's promise, you reach out to me, you schedule a little mini session, and I'll introduce you to that promise. And in that introduction, you're really beginning a brand new relationship that will see you through the tides of your life in a way that you are just so much more supported than you ever imagined. Just bear with me, because I'm going to give you a great opportunity to make that connection. So you can either dive in now or you can wait till later. But that connection of your light and your brilliance and your resilience is there for you, just waiting to be uncovered in every breath you breathe. So we'll do this again. And I will continue to do it in this way, because this is the way I'm supposed to bring forward right now. And in that bringing forward, I know some of you would just love for me to be in person and love to have that transmission, and it'll come in some shape or form in the near future. But for right now, I am being called in that deeper understanding of that wisdom, and my immediate, yay, I'm glad you're renewed, and yes, believe, believe, believe. I'm being called in that journey to give back to the elders, the women in my life. And to be honest with you, I know it's what is necessary right now, which is funny because I've been giving back to my offspring. So it's coming, I promise. I'm just going to continue at a turtle's pace because it's just how I roll. But because of each of you, I'm having amazing insights of understanding a deeper transformation I'm going through. So see, you all help me in so many ways, and I will be in touch very soon. Tuesday. We will be having a new moon. This is a very significant new moon for me. Anybody who has Taurus energy, anybody that's just interested in that soul's promise, it's really, we want to become steady in it. So I will be doing a very new moon-ish practice on Tuesday at 10, but I will be showing up with that energetic signature, and since I'm 6 days into May, I will be just going a little bit further into June, maybe. We'll see. Okay. Love, love, love. Ciao.